everybody, this is Megan DeVito with 10,000 Swords, and I am back today to keep talking about executive skills and kind of pick up where we left off last week. We ended last week by talking about, we talked about the executive skills survey that I linked to at the bottom of the video, and we talked about some of the ways that those executive skills get expressed in your teenager as strengths or as weaknesses. And this week I really want to dive into their behavior and their personality and the way that you can respond to them according to that personality so that you have more success really in motivating them to work on those executive skills and to be able to follow through and make goals so that they are more successful at school and at home, that they can succeed in life. And all of this is coming from the Smart But Scattered Teens book that I have been talking about and writing about a little bit. This is a fantastic book that I bought to use with my own teenagers, but also with my coaching clients and with my students because I'm also a teacher. So today you're going to notice that I'm looking down a lot because I have all of these little pink things here that I want to talk to you about. So we're going to dive right into talking about the different behaviors. So the first one I want to talk about is the take charge teenager. This is the one that knows there's a problem. They're like, yeah, let's do this. Let's hammer this out. Let's figure it out. These kids are great because they're really, really hyper motivated. They want to be successful and they're like, we can do this. I got this. I got a plan and I'm going to make it work. And really your role in this is to talk to them and ask them, because we know that there's a weakness there, what is your plan? Because even though they're really, really psyched to get going, it's likely that their executive skills weakness is going to play out somewhere in there. And we need to make sure that their plan is going to be a successful plan. So we want to follow up with them and we want to make sure that they have a plan that will work so that they can see short-term results and be more motivated to carry on when we raise that plan just like a little level higher, because we're always trying to level up one small step at a time. If you're working with your teenager, there has to be some really good communication in terms of making sure that you guys are on the same page, that you can say, yeah, I think this is going to work. So, for example, I know that when it comes to working with one of my kids, it might be me that needs to take that on. And for one of my other kids, it might be my husband that needs to take that on. So if it's not your personality, but it is your partner's personality, definitely push that conversation in the right direction so the right person is making it happen, because we want these personalities to mesh. And if you're the one that is always like, God, mom's always nagging me about stuff, have dad do it, because that's going to make a huge difference. Okay. So that's the first one. That is really the take charge teen. The next one is going to be the bargainer. And the bargainer is always that kid that's like, okay, but what are you going to do for me? And they're the ones that need that kind of extrinsic motivation that we're working on phasing out, okay? Bargainers are like, I mean, I'll do it if you give me $1. I'll clean my room if you will like give me a bowl of ice cream. They're the kid that's always looking for the negotiation, okay? What we want to do with these kids is really be willing to barter, be willing to bargain. And let's say for the course of, if it's grades that you're looking for, you might be like, I don't pay my kids for grades, by the way. I just don't. It was nice when I was little because my grandparents used to pay me for grades, which was weird. But I don't pay my kids for grades because I mean like that. And I think that your grade is actually what you get paid for. Like you got an A and that's what you earn. But if you want to pay your kids, if that works for you, have at it. It's not what I do. At least not in money. I might say, hey, you had a really good report card. Let's go to Sky Zone or something like that. But I don't necessarily say I'll give you $5 or $20 for every A or B or whatever. But you can find things that motivate them. So if they're motivated by, having a friend come over and spend the night, if they're motivated by money, if they're motivated by video games, whatever it is that motivates them, you can negotiate with this kid because that's really what they're looking for. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And sometimes we get a scratch. All right. So find something that works for you and find something that motivates them. The third type of kid is the kid that just wants to be in charge of themselves. They want autonomy. They want to be like, back off. I got this. Leave me alone. I can handle it. Except for here's the thing. we know that they have an executive skills weakness and it isn't going to happen, right? These are the kids that are like, why are you always on me? Leave me alone, I'll do it. And it never seems to happen. So with these kids, what we want to do is we have to negotiate some standard of what doing it actually is. Like they need to know exactly what you expect of them and what that looks like. So if you say clean your room and they just like pick up some trash off the floor and throw it in the trash can, to them that might be good, but that might not be even close to what you're looking for. So they need to know what it is that they need to do. All right. The second part of this really has to do with if they can't make that standard, then you might have to jump in and really take an active role in that. You might have to say, you know what, I'm going to show you what clean looks like so that next time we say, do this, and you say I can do it myself, you'll know what I'm looking for. Or I might say, I'm going to show you what it looks like to write down things on an agenda. That way you know how to do it. Then turn it over to them in really small steps, guys. We don't want to like just throw them to the wolves, okay? The next one is the help seeker. And the help seeker knows that they have a problem, but they really just want you to fix it for them. Okay, this one's tough because they want to fix it. They know it's wrong, but they have this sense of helplessness or this feeling of like, I need you to do this for me. I need it. You might really have to motivate them to take it, like to go forward with this and to try things. And you're going to have to do this in a way that provides the least amount of support you can get away with. So for the help seeker, you're probably going to have to start out with more support, like walls all around them, pushing them, stepping them, holding their hand, moving them forward. And then you take away one tiny piece at a time until you're like, oh, look, you're still doing it. It's kind of like, again, I talked last week about learning to ride the bike. And it's how, you've got a hold of both handlebars, and then you've got a hold of the back of your kid, and then you've got a hold of the back of their seat, and you're kind of holding them up, and then you're kind of like running next to them, and they think you're holding the seat, but you're not. And then pretty soon they realize they're doing it themselves. That's what we're looking for with these kids that need motivated by, like they're just like, please, please don't leave me alone to do this. And then finally, whoops, I turned the page too soon. Finally, we're looking at the avoider. Avoiders, I do it later. And like, I really, this is ridiculous. It's fine. It's a problem. I'll get to it. Yeah. I'm busy. I'll get to it later. Those are the avoiders, okay? They're the people who don't really want to invest the time in it because a little too busy. They relax. Everything's going to be fine. And your insistence on them making this change is vital. You have to say, this must be done by this. This is exactly what I expect. This is exactly when it needs to be done, or this will happen. Which could be a negative consequence, or it could be a positive consequence. It could be like, you know what, when you get this done in this way by this time, then you can borrow the car and you can go to town. But this has to happen first so that you force them to stop avoiding. Do they want to address it? Not really. Is it a problem? Yeah. But they're not really going to jump into it because they're going to avoid it as long as they can. All right. And of course, when you're addressing any of these types of kids, you want to remember what your personality is too, because I am the opposite of an avoider. So when it comes to working with an avoider, I'm like, why? Why can't you just do it right now? Why are we waiting? And they just look at me like, oh, why are you so mad? Why are you so mad at me? And I'm like, just do it already. Like, I have trouble waiting. I'm more probably impulsive with that than a procrastinator. Okay. If you have a kid who wants constant help, but you're more of a, I can do it myself type, you're going to struggle. You'd be like, you don't need help with this. Remember, that's their personality. And if that's what they need, and our ultimate goal is for them to gain these executive skills, then you either have to find the right person to push them through it, whether it's a coach or another parent or an older sibling or an aunt or someone who can push them through it or help them through it, or you're going to have to adapt your style for them. whatever works for you is fine. Our goal is small steps towards correcting these executive skills so that they can really make progress towards achieving the goals that they need to achieve. Remember, these executive skills aren't just good for high school. These are like the things you need to hold down a job, to maintain a house, to be able to balance your checkbook, all the things we use every single day in life. All right. So after saying all of this, if you are looking for a coach, I will let you know that I do some private coaching, and you can catch me at www.10000swords.com. If you go to schedule sessions, you can book a breakthrough session, and that's really just where we talk on the phone for about 45 minutes to an hour and find out what's up, what are your goals, where do you struggle, and we see if the coaching relationship is right for us. If it is, great. If it's not, that's great too. It's just a great conversation. So you are welcome to go to my website and schedule one of those. In the meantime, if you haven't used the executive skills questionnaire, I will post that link under this video. If you are on Facebook, please feel free to share this with your friends. If you are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and like this video. You guys, thank you so much. I will be back again next week if I don't keep tripping over my tongue. You guys take care and have a great weekend. See ya.